Welcome to the channel. I'm Katie. I sell part-time on eBay, and we're going to be talking what sold this week in my business, December 16th through 22nd. I decided to promote my store at 3%. I haven't been promoting up until now, so I'll be running it through the end of the year, and I did make 4 sales from it. I had 13 eBay sales and 1 Facebook Marketplace sale. It was my best sales week ever so far. I had $761.05 in total item sales. My cost of goods on the items that I'm going to be sharing with you today, or what I paid for them, is $116.18. And my total profit was $521.41. My average sales price was $54.36, which is pretty good. But I did just get a return request right before I started this video. So we will get into that after, or when I get to the item. So let's start with the first item, which is a Merrell pair of slip-on shoes. This style doesn't sell well. It's called the Vuori. I picked them up for $6.99 at the thrift store, and I really shouldn't have. I didn't comp them in the store, and then when I got home, I saw that they were selling for maybe $25. I had them listed for $29.95, and I did get a promoted offer on it for $19. So I accepted it because I had no interest on these for 298 days. When all was said and done, I ended up making $9.27, and I did pay $1.02 in ad fees on that. My next sale is the sale of the year, the sale of my reselling journey so far. It's a Cinq size 12 Roxy denim lace blazer with 1 button, and it sold for $250. Somebody came right out and they paid full price for it. This day I had 3 sales and they all sold full price. So that was like a unicorn reseller day for me. What do I want to say about it? This is a designer brand. It retails for $700, and other listings that I saw online were higher than mine, probably $300 to $350. And this denim style looks to be unavailable online. They do have this available in black for $700 on the Cinq website. So I was really excited to make the full price sale. I was dancing in my kitchen. And what's crazy is I paid $6.99 for this at the thrift store. It was just, I got so lucky. This is one of those things that I fell into luck in reselling, and I'm so happy with this sale. So I ended up, after insuring the package for an extra $4.45, so that USPS, if it were to get lost or damaged, I would receive the $250 back. Otherwise, the Ground Advantage insures $100. So after I paid that extra, I ended up making $203.33 in 79 days. And designer items do take longer to sell because you're looking for that one buyer who's looking to spend $250 on this like somewhat casual blazer, right? So I also had no returns on this. I looked it up and down and I examined every seam, everything about it. So I was confident in sending it out so that it wouldn't be returned if it maybe didn't fit. This buyer hopefully knew exactly what they were looking for, and I hope they love it. It got delivered today. So that was an amazing sale. Next up is a Ralph Lauren shirt. This is just some classic polo Ralph Lauren. It's like a holiday plaid shirt, very soft, 100% cotton, a men's size medium, and it's the slim Whitfield style with a double pocket on the front. I was hoping that it would sell before the holidays. So when somebody came out and they paid $38 for it, I was so happy. I paid $7.99 for this at a Goodwill outside of my area. I drove about 45 minutes to go thrifting a couple of months ago, and I made $23.55 in 47 days, and it sold before Christmas. So that was a great sale too. I should stop saying it's a great sale because they're all awesome. So this next item I just got a return request for. It is a magic suit by Miraclesuit, size 14 bikini or tankini swim top. And it was new with tags. It's a size 14. These retail for about $130, these tops. Miraclesuit is probably one of the top tier swim brands to pick up, and Magic Suit, I guess, is a sub brand of it. So somebody came out and they paid $50 for it, but I just got the request that it doesn't fit. So it will be coming back to me, which is very sad. This is very fresh. I just got the notification about it. But I actually had no money into this because I used a coupon at my local thrift store. They used to send paper coupons in our like local paper, and I would clip them out and I'd get $5 off for spending 20. So I used it one day for this item. So I'm really not going to be out anything except just a bummer, and I hope it sells again. I would have made $41.98 and it took 113 days to sell. So I bought it in September at the end of swim season. I found several new with tags swim tops at my smaller thrift store in September. Stores were clearing out. So that was a good pickup. I will be selling that again, I guess. Hopefully it comes back still in like new condition. The next sale is a pair of pajama pants by Monkey. They are like a novelty ski print, really soft, size extra large, flannel. They're a rayon bamboo blend, and I paid $2 for these. They were half price at Goodwill. They had made it the 6 weeks through the store, and for some reason I thought that this would be a good idea to pick up. I don't pick up separates anymore, but I had these listed for 274 days. So the newer reseller Katie was all about picking up anything, basically. I ended up getting an offer for $14.05 for these. I think it was a counter offer that I received, and it was a promoted offer, so I did pay 65 cents for that ad fee, and I lost $1.28 on shipping because I had the weight off by about an ounce. So that equaled $1.28. I had a flat fee on it of $5.95. I think that was to try to get it to move. Back when I was trying different things, when I started reselling, I was doing different things with shipping, hoping to entice buyers. So it's fine. I made $6.97, and I received positive feedback on this today. So really happy about that. That'll keep our spirits up, some positive feedback. Okay, the next item is a pair of jeans, and these are Rock Revival. They're from the consignment bulk buy that I just did last week. This was the very first pair that I listed, and they are size 32 Tucker straight. They're very distressed. They have the embroidery. They have the, not bling on the pockets, but very heavily embroidered pockets, what they're known for, and they have the flap style, which sells well in jeans. This is a statement jean, and I had it listed for $100. It was new with imperfections. The faux leather on the embroidery on the back pockets was chipping a little bit, and I think it's probably from being stored wherever they were being stored. So I listed that, and within an hour, I got an offer for $74. Is that right? $74. I waited overnight because I thought, oh my gosh, someone else might want it more, you know? No one else came in, so in the morning I ended up accepting the $74 offer. I currently have 60 items listed, or not listed, drafted from that bulk buy. So I have an average price of $3.33 per item because I paid $200 for the bulk lot of items. I ended up making $58.74 in 0 days. And I guess it was maybe 1 day. My spreadsheet says 0 days. And I also have no returns on this. I made sure that I explained it the best that I could and was confident that the buyer would be happy with what they received. Amazing sale. I now have 8 more pairs listed. So hopefully next week I'll have some of those to share with you too. Next up is a Lululemon men's license to train tight. It was in a reddish Merlot color. And this is like the type of tight that you would wear under shorts if you're playing basketball or going running. I found these at a consignment store that I hadn't really gone to before, but I recently started shopping at Trader Joe's again, which is amazing, and it's its own whole situation. But this consignment store is right next door to it, so I popped in before I went into Trader Joe's, and this was outside on their half off rack of stuff that they were, ready to get rid of. So it was half price, but I still ended up paying how much for them? $13.04 with tax. But I knew that being a men's item, that it would do well. And it was in excellent, like new condition. So when I got home, I didn't comp it in the store. When I got home, I saw that I could get around $40 for it, and that this was a really in-demand style. It retails for $98. I got a message about it with someone wanting to pay $30, and I stayed firm because of the good sell-through rate. And I said, no, the offer that I sent of $36 is going to be the lowest. And then the next morning they came in and they paid the $36. So I made $16.94 in 6 days. This was a really good flip, and I am willing to pay up for Lululemon. Sometimes it's a bad idea. This time it was a good idea. Lululemon men's sells pretty consistently for me. I think there's just not as much of it out there on eBay. The next sale is a pair of scrubs. You might have seen this a couple of weeks ago in a thrift haul. I picked up 2 pairs of scrubs. This is a size large set. It's the Catarina one pocket top and the high waist Yola straight pant. I had these listed on Facebook Marketplace for 2 weeks and did not have them listed on eBay because I thought they will sell locally. I think I had them listed at $50. And then when they didn't, I decided to put them on eBay, and they sold in 2 days. So I got an offer for $50 on them. I do believe that this is a limited edition color, but because I was unable to confirm it, I just put it in the description that it looks like this limited edition bright fuchsia color. And I also have no returns on this either because I had 1 pair of scrubs returned before, and I just think if I'm providing all the measurements and all of the info on the scrubs, like, you got to keep them. So hopefully they love it. They did have a flaw in the back pocket, a small like purple type stain. So I ended up disclosing that and listing them for less. Otherwise, I probably would have asked about $75 for them. That was a good sale though. 2 days on eBay, I made $28.46. Next up is another piece of swimwear. This is an Athleta size large Maldives one-piece swimsuit. It has UV 40 plus protection, which I love to put into my listings because people are looking to protect their skin when they're outside. I had it listed for $60. I picked it up at a half price Goodwill sale that I took my kids with me to at the very end of summer. They were having a half price sale, and I said, kids, let's just go. We went for an hour. We picked up a lot of good stuff. I ended up getting it for $6.50. So they wanted $13, and I probably would have paid it. But thankfully it was half price, and I received an offer for $40, and I countered at $45, and they accepted. So that was great. I made $32.52 in 138 days. I bought that back in August, at the beginning of August. Then I had a Facebook Marketplace sale, which was another pair of scrubs. This is the 4th and final set that I had picked up when I got 4 sets on the same day, and I paid $14.99 each. I think these took the longest because there was a small flaw. Because I look at every seam in every piece of clothing that I go through, I did find an imperfection to the center seam, like in between the legs, and it didn't affect the material, like it wasn't coming apart or anything, but it was imperfect. So I made sure to note that in my Facebook Marketplace listing, and somebody ended up offering me, what'd they offer me? $25. And I said that I would go to $35. I had them listed at $40. They accepted, so I made $20.01 in 79 days on those green scrubs. The jogger styles, I think, do better. Had they been in excellent condition, I for sure would have gotten 40 and it would have been a lot sooner. So I only have one figs set left. So I continue the streak of I'm selling them within 90 days. I think I've sold like 8 to 10 sets. Do we recognize this next item? This got returned last week. It's a J. Crew high-rise wide leg denim trouser jean. And they were in a size 30, but I did put the waist measurement in the title because they did run a bit big. I got these back and they really weren't in the same condition that I sent them. So my question to you all is, if you have a store and you have gotten a return that is not in the same condition, do you keep any of the refund from the buyer when they're processing the return? I know that I have the option to keep up to 50%, but the buyer is also able to leave negative feedback if I do that. So I was worried about retaliation, basically, and I ended up giving them all their money back because I did think that I could fully reprocess them. It seemed like they were worn, definitely worn, and maybe like gotten all wet, and they just had a smell to them. And I was pretty displeased with how they came back. Anyway, I gave them all their money back. eBay reached out to me, with the survey of how did the return go. And I let them know the situation and that they should really maybe tell buyers if it is not in the same condition that you got it in, like, the seller will be keeping part of it. Especially for the good sellers, the people who are really putting in 100% effort. Anyway, I need to stop on that tangent. So I reprocessed this completely. I washed them, I rephotographed them, I re-inspected them and packaged them, and I got an offer in 2 days. I listed them for $5 less than I did last time, so $55. And I received an offer for $40. I countered at $45 and they accepted, which is great. I had $19.93 into these pants, so happy to sell them again so quickly. This seems like the right season for it. And I do try to process my returns and get my items back ready to be listed quickly. $15.62 I made off these the second time, and hopefully they stay gone. I think I do still have a 14-day return on those if the buyer says they don't fit. And that's probably the hardest part about having returns for me, is that I'm worried that the condition isn't going to be the same as I sent it out. And there's been several items where it hasn't. Sometimes, they try it on and they send it right back, but sometimes it's just not the same. And I find myself unsure of what I should really do, like what the right thing to do is. So anyway, we're moving on to the next item. This is a pair of Vuori daily leggings. These ones don't have pockets in them. They were in like a fern sage green. I have the style number on them. And I had them listed at $39.95. They did have a small spot on them, which you really couldn't see unless you were closely examining, which I was. So when I received an offer for $30 on them, I accepted it. I got these from Goodwill for $6.99, which was such a find, I feel like, because I don't find Vuori very often. I made $17.72 on these in 153 days. I don't move Vuori as quickly, I think, as other resellers, but I was happy to see this one move. And I have probably 6 or 7 more items in my store that are Vuori that are good. So hopefully they sell soon. 2 more sales. So this next sale is a Good American pair of jeans. I got these at the consignment store, 70% off sale. They are the Good 90s loose jeans, and these did measure a little bit bigger than a size 29, so I made sure to put that in the description, but they were new with tags. I had them listed for $65. I received an offer for $40, and I countered at $45 because I had seen that I weighed these wrong. These were going to be a 3-pound label, and I only had them at 2. So I countered at 45 and they accepted. So I ended up making $26.26 on these. I paid $9.45 with tax at the consignment store sale. And it took 174 days for these to sell. I picked them up in the summer, in June or July. And then the last sale of the week is this St. John Santana knit skirt. I had sold this once before, and the person messaged me before I could even send it out and said, please don't send it. It's more flawed than I thought. And I have all caps flawed in my title. Anyway, I got an offer for $30 this time. I got an offer for $25 the last time. So holding out sometimes works. I paid $4.99 for this. It was promoted, so I paid $1.17 in ad fees. I make $20.09 in 281 days. So I had this for a really long time. St. John is a really expensive brand. It just doesn't resell for even close. This was probably hundreds of dollars for this skirt, and especially with flaws. I just knew I wasn't going to get a lot, but I think someone did get a good deal, as it is very wearable. Thank you so much for joining me for What Sold. It was a really good week. Returns happen, and I will let you know how that all plays out next week. Have a great week. Christmas is just a couple days away. You might be seeing this after Christmas. I hope you had a great one, and I will see you next time.